my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. So if you watched yesterday's video, you will have heard me talking about some new plot leaks for The Acolyte, and that came from the same source who posted a plot dump for Tales of the Jedi. This person, known as Ahsoka, also posted some footage from the show to prove their legitimacy. Now, while the footage was taken down and we can't show it for obvious reasons, we can talk about some of the leaks. The one that's been making the rounds the most is a certain lightsaber duel between Count Dooku and Jedi Master Yaddle. Well, to my enormous dismay, big spoiler warning, Dooku kills her. That's right, my dear friends, we now know the official canon way that Yaddle went out, but there's a lot more detail to go through, so no more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into the nitty gritty. A couple of days ago, Ahsoka and another Twitter user who's now vanished tagged Making Star Wars myself and a few others in a thread of plot leaks for the anthology series. The other Twitter user posted a video to prove their legitimacy, and in that sequence we see Dooku killing Yaddle, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's completely legit. You cannot fabricate that level of animation so easily. A day or so later, Ahsoka posted more information on Reddit about what goes down in that exact scene, and this is what he said. Between the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, Dooku and Palpatine are talking on Geonosis. Yaddle, having sensed something was wrong, tracked them down, similar to Obi-Wan finding the Separatists on the planet in Episode 2. When Yaddle slams the door open, she ignites her lightsaber and stares down the duo. They note that Yaddle is, quote, very badass. As you would expect, she asks Count Dooku why he betrayed the Jedi Order and why he's conversing with the enemy, and he replies with a typical I see through the Jedi's hypocrisy type of thing. So then, a fight breaks out, and they say it's astonishing just how powerful Jedi Master Yaddle is. They say their source was very much taken aback by the fight. It's visually going to be the peak of Star Wars animation. They also say that one thing to note is that Yaddle does not speak like Yoda, she's got a normal syntax when she talks. And I should say this is consistent with the High Republic depictions of her. So eventually in the fight, Dooku gets the best of her, Yaddle is disarmed, and Dooku strikes a killing blow. Now look, a lot of you have been asking me how do I feel about this. I am honestly in two minds about Lucasfilm bringing her back just to kill her off. On the one hand, I get it, they had to explain where she went after episode 1, but on the other, I'm just not a big fan of her dying to Dooku. I guess as a big fan of hers, she's just been such a mystery and point of speculation for years, and it's really sad her death is about to be made concrete. Sure, Dooku is a badass, and yes, her knowing about Palpatine this early and going out heroically are cool, but I suppose it's hard to accept that when it's over, that is the last time we're going to see her, outside of maybe The Acolyte. The leaker also shared a bunch of other sequences from various episodes. He mentioned that there's an episode involving Dooku's origin story. There is also an episode where Mace Windu gets the rank of Master before him, and that sends Dooku on a spiral. And we're even getting animated retellings of the funerals of Qui-Gon Jinn, and later on Padme Amidala, the latter of which they've retconned Ahsoka to be there on Naboo. I'm not too sure how I feel about this, but the lowdown is they're literally changing how we see the prequels. Now, along with Dooku, Yaddle, Ahsoka, Qui-Gon and so on, we're going to see most, if not all of the prequels Jedi at some stage in this show. The users did share a list of Jedi who they've been told make cameos, and it's quite extensive. Let's wait and see how legit these tidbits really are, because as some folks have pointed out, even though the footage may be real, the same might not be said for all of the details. And so now, my dear Mandalorians, we're going to move on and talk about Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, because Cameron Monaghan has sat down with Bleeding Cool to talk about what's next for Cal Kestis. Let's dive into it. Cameron Monaghan is becoming one of the most recognisable faces in Star Wars as the lead in the Jedi games that started with Jedi Fallen Order. Well, now comes the next chapter, Jedi Survivor. When speaking about what's next for the protagonist, this is what Cameron said. It's really exciting to be able to play around in the Star Wars universe again and to portray Cal. Not only to portray him, but also to develop him and to find him different. This story takes place 5 years after the first game, and we see a change in him between that time. The Shameless star does see vast potential with Cal in the future. He says, this is a character that is obviously part of the Star Wars canon now, and I would like to see him in plenty of different contexts. There's a lot of story to tell with him, and we can explore something with him that I don't think has been explored with other characters before. So that's an exciting thing, and I hope people enjoy what we did with them, because it was a joy to be able to do. And fingers crossed, this will also include a live action appearance in a Disney Plus show one day. So finally, my dear friends, it's time to talk about Solo and why Taron Egerton rejected the Han Solo role for Solo: A Star Wars Story. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy recently made a controversial statement where she noted how the company learned it could not recast new actors in known roles as the audience would, quote, not like it. This was a direct reference to Solo, and she threw Alden Ehrenreich under the bus, but it's safe to say the message that Kennedy thought was the correct takeaway was anything but. And while Alden Ehrenreich ended up landing the role in Solo, there was another notable actor who was revealed to have once had the role, but why didn't he take it? I'm talking about Taron Egerton. In a new interview with Happy Sad Confused, Taron Egerton commented on how he was once in the running for both Han Solo and Cyclops for the Fox X-Men films. The actor not only revealed that he was once in the running for the role, but also that he removed himself from both. He even shared how he got to be in full costume with Chewbacca, but at the end of the day, he, quote, simply didn't feel it. This is what he said: I felt that, I'll be honest, I got on the Falcon. I was with Chewie, I was in the full costume, and you know what? That's what I felt like. I felt like I got there, I did it, I lived it. And there was one more. There was another round I decided not to do. And it's far enough in the past now that I feel like I can say that. I hope no one feels annoyed that I've said it. And just to paraphrase the next bit, he basically said he just didn't feel it. And finishing off, Taron Egerton also admitted he did not feel as though he could fill the boots of Harrison Ford. He says it was always going to be a losing battle. Now, it's always fascinating to me when tidbits like these release so many years after the fact. I'm sure he would have been a great Han Solo, but Alden Ehrenreich in the end got the part. And real talk, he was awesome in the movie. And despite Kathy Kennedy's comments, the Lando series is still set to feature Donald Glover, who is a recast, and hopefully they do bring back Alden and Amelia for that show too. If, of course, it ever does happen. You just never know these days with Lucasfilm. A bonus piece of news. This one is not even remotely Star Wars related. I came across this and thought it was absolutely hilarious, but not for the reasons you might think. It's just so British. It's from the Daily Mail, take that as you will, and it concerns Daisy Ridley. And just look at this title. I just love the way this is worded. Exclusive, Revenge of the Jedi. Star Wars actress Daisy Ridley wins battle with council to transform $1.85 million derelict terraced house into family home in £1 million transformation. So on the surface, not too interesting, but the way it's worded, the kind of imagery that comes to mind, it gave me a good chuckle, only in England. I just wanted to go over it. Why not? Star Wars actress Daisy Ridley has finally won a battle with conservationists over the 1.85 derelict terraced house she bought 2 years ago in celebrity-studied Camden Town, North London. The Force Awakens star who plays Rey Skywalker, a controversial name right there. Some call her just Rey Solo, Rey Palpatine, applied to transform the Grade 2 listed building consisting of 2 bedsits into a family home in a £1 million transformation. Her earlier planning application for a roof extension with rear terrace was thrown out by the local council after objections, but now she's been given the green light. I wonder what Daisy did to do that. They were like, no, fuck off with your request. And she was like, do you not know who I am?
Rey Skywalker.
Use some sort of force magic and bam! She got given the green light.